Happy Friday. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Year of the Ox, everyone. Welcome. All right, I'm going to turn down this music just a little bit here. There we go. And we will get going. Welcome. Happy to have you here for this special Lunar Renew Year class. So let's get going. My name is Midnight, and I'm so glad to be here whenever you're joining. If you're joining on the actual Lunar New Year, which is Friday, February 12th, or if you're catching this replay some other time, it's just can be a nice class to settle ourselves, to reset, doing some meditation, some mobility flow, stretching, just restorative movement to make us feel ooey-gooey, good, align ourselves with our energies and our bodies, and just do a little self-care. Treat ourselves today. You will need a mat or something to lay down on. And then option, if you have like a foam roller or just like a bolster or something to give you a little extra added height, we'll use that at the end of class. If you don't have anything like this, no worries, you don't need it. It'll just give you a little extra assistance in some of the stretches we do at the end. As always, modify whenever you need to. Please take breaks whenever you need to. This isn't going to be a strenuous workout today, although it still may be intense. Some of the stretches and mobility stuff we get into definitely may give you all the feels. But of course, modify if you need. Take those little rests or go into something else. Just do whatever you need to do. Again, this is your self-care time to treat yourself and feel good. And yeah, let's just get moving here. All right, put this off to the side for now. And we're going to start by just trying to get present in our bodies, in this space, on our mats. So one of my ways that I like to do this is called the 5 senses exercise. Taking this first part of class to just notice what's around us, try to drop into this space, leaving the other stuff outside of here, just that, outside, so we can be present. 5 senses exercise, you start with 5 things you can see. So just take a look around and in your head, just note 5 things you can see. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be simple things. Just noticing 5 things. After you notice 5 things you can see, think of 4 things you can feel. So I can feel the mat underneath me. I can feel the shirt on my skin. And no right or wrong. Just noticing. If you want to close your eyes, you can. 4 things that you feel in your body. Drop into your body. Then think of 3 things you can hear. Maybe it's the cars outside. Maybe it's your own breath. Just try and name 3 different things you can hear right now. Two things you can smell. Maybe you have a hard time with this. Smell can be a little bit trickier. If you don't get 2, that's okay, but see if you can pick up 2 things. At the very least, take some deep inhales and see if you can smell anything. And 1 thing you can taste, whatever that is. Again, maybe it's hard to name. Just take a moment to see if you can figure out 1 thing you can taste right now. So that's a nice exercise that helps us drop into this present moment. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. To use that exercise whenever you need to. It doesn't have to take a lot of time to just help us get present and in our bodies and in our senses. So now that we have that, let's start moving. All right. turning to the side. Sit however you need to. If you need a bolster, you can take that foam roller, you can take that pillow and give yourself a little extra uh, lift here. Just be careful if you're on the foam roller, you don't roll yourself off. Bend your knees wherever you feel just comfortable. Lift up through the heart. Try and draw the shoulders down the back. Pull the belly button in. Softly place the hands on the knees and start to just rotate the rib cage around. You can go around in a circle, or if you want to go like serpentine, it's really just moving the bones around. Again, no right or wrong here. It's trying to reach your spine in different directions. It's almost like a good morning stretch in bed when you're just kind of moving your body around to see what it needs. Focusing on that torso. So if you want to, you can get some shoulders in there too, maybe a little bit of a neck action as well. Just exploring the movement and tapping into the feeling. From there, you're going to roll yourself back. So if you're on that bolster, just be careful. You may need to take it out, roll yourself down, ground the feet, and now do the same thing with the hips, lifting the hips, shifting them maybe side to side, circling them around. Again, no right or wrong, just kind of moving into the lower part of the body, just seeing where it wants to go, exploring, playing. It's definitely a sense of play, improv movement here, just making it up, and no right or wrong, just seeing how the bones are moving today. Drop the hips down, curl yourself up, go back to a little chest movement. And just exploring the space, roll yourself down, again into some hip movement. Just going to alternate this movement, focusing on the upper torso and then the lower part of the body into the hips. Primary powerhouse in Pilates, curl up. Again, upper body, exploring. If you don't know what to do, just circle around. Circle one direction, circle the other way. Don't get too hung up on what the movement is. Curl down. Say that you could just circle the hips around and just do bridges up and down. Connect to your breath. One more. Curl up to that upper body. You cat-cows, whatever your body's telling you it needs in this moment. Curl down. Last time for the hips, exploring the movement. It's kind of nice. So much of our classes and things we do in movement and fitness is we focus on form. There's a way to do it or to feel. So this is a nice way to get outside of those boundaries, right? New year, new lunar year, new rules. Yeah, set it down. All right, move that off to the side. Right, just some hip bridges up and down, curling up and down. Feet about hip width distance apart. Squeeze the glutes, dig the heels into the mat. Try and relax your upper body down onto the floor. Drop the hips down. Take one hand, reach up and over, and then bring it back all the way up and over. So I'm letting the knees drop down to the side and just trying to get a big stretch. Feel it in the side of my rib cage here, into my armpit a little bit even. And no necessarily right or wrong. Just trying to lengthen out the body. And in a moment, we'll combine those together. All right, come center, lift the hips up, do a few hip bridges first. Squeeze the glutes. Don't want to feel this in the lower back. If we feel it in the lower back, chances are we're overarching. So it doesn't matter how high the hips go. Press down to the floor, squeeze the butt together, and the hips will follow. Hold the hips up. Now that same thing, if you can, reach, try to keep the hips in the air. If this feels like a little bit too much, then take those hips back down again and do those reaches. Roll onto that side of your shoulder, the meaty section of your shoulder, giving a little floor massage as well. You don't have to plant the feet. You can move the feet around, pivot on your toes. A couple more. Last one. Bring the center, roll it all the way down. Bring one knee in, other leg extends. Just circle that leg around. Little circles, getting into the hip joint. Working out any kinks or knots. Circle other way. Now, just because this movement isn't strenuous, like it's cardio or aerobic, or maybe it's not going to get our heart rate up the same way, you pull the knee in, then press the knee into the hands and push away. Draw in, then push away. Just because it's a little bit more restorative and ooey-gooey feeling does not mean it's any less valuable. Our joints, our muscles, they need this kind of movement and work just as much as the other strengthening, burning movements and exercises we do. Draw in, let the knee fall over to the side, and lift it up, fall out. Yeah, carving into that hip joint. All of that tough pushing work that we do, getting our sweat on, it's very useful, but this work too is getting into those joints in this very nourishing way, gently realigning our bones. That helps us to prevent injury, helps us reset our systems, internal organs, and works really hand in hand with the other strengthening work that we do. Toe reach, bring it over, reach your toe out as far as you can, then bring it out to the side. If you want to, you can extend your leg and reach your toe out there. Option to bend the knee in the middle and then reach out, or keep the leg straight and reach it side and cross. Now you go to where your leg wants. Maybe your leg's a little bit further down here. That's great. Maybe you play with the angles. Reach down here a little bit, then reach more out to the side the next time. Just playing with the movement in our body. One more. Cross it over. Bring it out. Draw the knee in and switch over to the other side. Circle that knee around. Sitting into those hips. Breathing into it, relaxing the body down. Circle other way. Settling in. Settling deeper. Press the knee in. Push the knee away. You are your own resistance here. Pull the knee in towards the chest, then use the strength of your arms to hold the knee in place as it presses away. Engaging the muscles, making those muscles work, because it's restorative. Doesn't mean they don't work, they don't turn on. They engage, they contract. It's what creates the movement in the first place. Breathe the knee in, cross it over, and bring out to the side. I'm letting my shoulders kind of roll wherever they need. So a little bit less strict on keeping my body still, just letting my body move with this momentum. Finding the flow to it. Maybe you find that place where the flow kind of chunks in. That's okay too, that's part of it. Option to extend the toe out. You can bend the knee in the middle, extend back out. Or you can keep that toe reaching up and just floss through the hip joint. All last month, we did a 4-week challenge. And this hip Was definitely very sore before doing the challenge. I had lost a lot of mobility into this hip the past several months before the challenge. And after the challenge, this hip is doing a lot better. Definitely gained back some of the mobility, but I know I can lose it again quickly if I don't do exercises like this to work that joint in all the directions. One more. Yeah, bring that knee in. Good. Hug the knees into the chest. Curl up into a little ball. Just do a little gentle rocking forward and back. Nothing too big. Almost use this as like a massage into your lower back. I'm grabbing onto my shins, really trying to round my spine, and pushing into the floor. Make it a little bigger, until you can come all the way up to seated. Good. Lift it through the heart. Circle an arm around. Circle the other arm around. Reach up. Hold here. I'm going to turn on some music now that we've gotten ourselves a little bit warmer. Let's add in some music now, shall we? Oh, maybe. There we go. All right. Round through the spine. Reach up through the heart. Or maybe it's happening, maybe not. Keep going. Do these cat cows, seated cat cows, as I go back and check out this music. I hear a siren. Does that count for something? That's just outside. That's just Chicago talking. All right, here we go, gang. All right. Roll yourself all the way back down. Going into a little bit of like modern dance work right here. We're going to lay onto our side and curl up into a little ball. So just like that ball we use when we were massaging our lower back. Then stretch out long and go beyond. Let the toes go apart and reach up to the heart. That big extension to the spine. And curl back into a ball. And reach out long and curl back in. I know this is kind of funny, but it's so good to work on our side like this. We don't feel pressure on our side as often. And this is a nice way to work that spinal flexion and extension without gravity being forceful one way or the other. One more. Reach it out. Yeah. Good. Bring it center. Switch it over to the other side. Start by curling yourself into a ball. Around the spine. Lengthen out. Reach out through the hands, through the toes. Reach out. Press the hips forward. Keep the belly engaged. Curl back in. And notice if you have one side that feels a little bit stickier than the other. If you're on a sticky yoga mat, this might be hard to do. You might want to move yourself. If you don't have a surface that is conducive to this sort of movement, then it's okay to just like, you place your hand down or give yourself extra assistance to get into these positions. That's all right too. Couple more. How big can you get? How far can you expand? How small can you curl? One more. Bring it in. Roll it onto your back. Arms go out to the side. Reach up to the heart. Give yourself a little arch. And down. Two more. Go lift up. Maybe come onto the top of your head or onto your skull. One more. Up. And down. See if you can use that. A little burlesque dance move here. Press the chest up and come all the way up. Stretch over the legs. Round the spine. Feel that stretch into your spine and into the vertebrae. Bring yourself up. Bring the knees in. Hands go back behind. Twist side to side. I'm rolling over the meaty sections of my glutes, giving myself a little bit of a floor massage into the cheeks there. And if you want to try doing this with your hands out in front, requires more ab strength get those knees up, or you can also try it with your hands off. Trickier balance here. A couple more. End up on one side, tuck the knees in, grab onto the ankles, reach up, mermaid stretch. If you're underneath the armpits, spiral your heart towards the sky, then lengthen your head back. A lot of times we tuck the chin, because I know I do that. You come back, so you can do that switch of the legs, maybe with no hands, and reach up, mermaid stretch. Press the head back, peer under the arm. A couple more times. Switch over and lift. Again, switch over. Feel that big stretch through the side of the ribs. Yeah. All right, hands go back again. Feet go out wider than the hips, and drop the knee down. And get into those hips, working the 360. We don't use or work this internal rotation as much, but we need it. We need our hips to rotate in all directions. Good, take it, and then bring your hip up and over. So you're sitting in that 90-90 position. Press this hip forward so you can sit yourself up on top of the hip. This is our hip mobility flow. We did this some of the other classes. So you know where we're going to progress. We're going to see if we can do it without our hands. Keep the feet relatively where they are. Just rotating, pivoting over, working through the core. Draw the belly button in. Sit tall. And then adding a stretch down. Stretch it down, bring it up, switch it over. Drop it down, lift, and switch. Okay, you can bring the hands back behind you. If you want to hang out and stretch a little bit longer, you can. This is all about doing what your body needs. Everyone's hips are different. They're built differently. Everyone's hips have gone through different things in their lives, and they're in a different condition every day. So listen to where your body and your hips need it today. And make sure you even yourself out. And we're going to stay over on that first side. Just stay over here. Lift the chest up, lengthen over. So instead of bringing the head down, we're going to reach the chest further. Bring it back and reach through. Press this hip forward. I feel a little bit of a teeny sensation deep into that hip joint. Lengthen the hip over. Option to extend this back leg and situate yourself into a pigeon or half pigeon pose. Square the hips. Now again, if you have that bolster or pillow, you can sit underneath this hip and it'll give you a little extra height to get into this position. Otherwise, see if you can sink yourself down into it. And you have the choice to lengthen yourself all the way over, sleeping pigeon. Sway yourself a little bit side to side. These movements absolutely do not have to be static. In fact, a lot of times I enjoy them a little bit more. There's some movement, a little more dynamic, stretching into it. And bring it up. Bend that back leg, switch it over. Hold it. First, just the upper torso, down and lift. Down and lift. Down. Now we lengthen it, lengthen front and back. You can see the difference there. Both are stretching my hips, they're just activating them a little bit differently, doing a different angle into things. Lengthen forward, extend the back leg, and square the hips into that half pigeon or full pigeon pose. So half pigeon, this feels just tucked in a little bit tighter. It's a little bit easier to get into the position a lot of times. A Fuller pigeon, you have this front leg still at that 90-degree angle, and lift the hips up and over. Trying to press this back hip forward, lengthen through the spine wherever you are, and see if you can come down. Give that little sway side to side. We hold so much energy in our hips, so much power, strength, but also a lot of times emotions can get stuck in our hips. So good to focus in, pay them some attention, and be very gentle with yourselves as you do it. A lot can get stirred up when you're working deep into the hips like this. All right. All right, bring yourself up. Okay. Working some cat-cows again, seated. Just do a few of those here, and then I'll show you some progressions to these. So we can work right here, rounding the spine, lengthening the spine. Option to stay here, or option to bring your hands back behind you. Same thing, round the spine, lengthen the spine. Option, I like to have my fingertips either facing back or you can have them facing towards your body. You get a different stretch either way, so just gotta figure out what you like. Now I would suggest switching your fingertips towards your body for this next one, going into tabletop. Ground down the feet and you start to lift the hips up as you extend and round back. Lift the hips, push the heart towards the ceiling, round back. Maybe do a few half ones until you go all the way up. You need to lengthen your feet away, gives you a little extra space to reach the hips up and then down. Press up and down. And you work where you need to, or you go down to that hip bridge. Hip bridge we were doing earlier. Bring it down, hold here, go back to that cat-cow with the hands on the knees. Next progression, into a back plank. You can stick to tabletop, or you can come to back plank with me. You can go to that hip bridge. Hands go back, set yourself up, start by just doing a few here. Now, if you want to lengthen your legs out, and as we press forward, we lift the hips up. So maybe you do a few just little baby ones first, just playing with that. Push the heels down, squeeze the glutes, and as that feels more sturdy, we lift the hips up. This is big mobility in the shoulders as well. We're not just working our core, we're really working the mobility and opening up through the heart, opening up through the chest, working into the shoulders. Wherever you are, one more, we hold at the top. Lift, hold it. Squeeze the butt. Breathe. Lower down, fold it over your legs, wherever you are. Just have a little sway side to side again. All right, team, yeah. Building a little bit of heat in the body, right? It's easier to stretch into the body once those muscles are warm. So creating just that bit of heat, or maybe a lot of heat, depending how you're doing today. You curl yourself up. One knee in, one toe in, other leg lengthen. Hand comes onto the shin or to the inside of the leg. Other arm up and reach over. And bend this elbow and I try to push the elbow to the inside of the thigh. I'm gently pushing back with this arm and spiraling my heart towards the ceiling again. And try to keep this sit bone, this butt cheek down on the mat. Come up, give yourself a breath, stretch over again. Can we reach this hand away a little bit further and drop the elbow down. Spiral out towards the ceiling, reaching lengthening to the top arm. Come up. This is not just the hips, but also the hamstrings, side body. A lot of things working here. Hold this one over, circle the top arm around. Now we're getting into that shoulder mobility again. Carving through the shoulder. Notice where you get stuck a little bit. If you get stuck, want to really focusing on that area. Gently massage into it. Circle other way. If your head is feeling a little bit heavy, straighten it out too. It can be a lot just letting your head hang heavy, so lengthen through the neck. Out more. Bring it all the way up. Let's switch it over to the other side. Hand on the shin or in front, other arm up. You bend that elbow and lengthen over. And this butt cheek stays down on the ground. Don't let it come up. Push down with this hip. Lengthen over with the top arms in an oppositional force. One hip going that way, upper body going this way. Spiral the heart towards the sky. Bring it up. And see if you can really keep this leg straight. And push the back of the kneecap down onto the mat and keep it planted there. Check in with the belly button. Try and pull it in. Bring it up. One more time. We hold it over this time. And circle the top arm. And you can straighten out that neck. In fact, probably best to do that. I sometimes let my head hang heavy, but I want to work the muscles in the neck as well. These big shoulder openings, arm circles, you can kind of brush through them. They don't always feel like a lot, at least for me. Circle other way. Really focus and try and go to the very limits of my range of motion. So much more work. And it also really helps my range of motion to increase. I'm not just breezing through it with momentum. I'm using my muscles to try and lengthen and extend further past what I can already do. One more. Yeah, bring it all the way up. Woo, heels together, go to a little butterfly, lengthen through the heart, bow yourself down. Shift side to side. So this Lunar New Year, I'm not an expert on it. I do follow it. I recognize it and practice it, but I don't know all about it. But I do know that this year's Year of the Ox. Bring it up, twist to one side, lengthen to the heart. Try and draw your breastbone towards your knee. Push the other hand away and open it back up. Lift it up, over to the other side. Right, Year of the Ox. I was also born in the Year of the Ox, so special oxen power happening. It's really fascinating stuff. If you're interested, looking into it more, it's kind of cool the way the Chinese and the Asian zodiacs, how they differ and how they're similar to the ones that we have here too. All right, okay, so now we're gonna grab onto our little assistance and set it down. So it's going to be on your shoulder blades. Just giving you a little extra lift here. If you don't have one, that's okay. Put your hands behind your head, open up through the heart, and you just won't get this extension here, but you'll probably still get the work in bringing your shoulders down and trying to open up here and keeping everything onto the mat. And in fact, if you have this, then again, do that little lift up and see if you can lift the heart up towards the ceiling, but keeping the core engaged. Otherwise, having this extra height just really helps open up the heart, open up the chest. Oh, and I feel some adjustments happening. Draw the elbows together, draw the chin up and over, try and curl up like a little mini crunch, then unfurl the spine and open back up again. Yeah, keep going there. Curling yourself up and lengthening out. Curl and lengthen. Well, you have a choice. You can stay here, or if you feel like it, as you open up, try reaching your arms overhead too. Bring them back to your head so they can help assist you lift back up again. Unfurl the spine. Keep the core belly drawn in. Reach overhead. One more, wherever you are. Curling up. That length pull your head a little bit longer. Gently stretch it. Lift it up, stretch it over. Yeah. Open back up again. You start to sway side to side. Do a little massage onto your shoulder blades. If you're on the floor, give yourself that floor massage. Just keep going here. Kind of lift yourself up and up. Just allowing yourself, give yourself permission to roll onto your side. It's not something we do as often in these classes. All right. Let yourself all the way down. If you have that bolster assistance, bridge the hips up and put the bolster underneath your sacrum. So it's above your butt. It's above your butt cheeks. It's in that lower back area, kind of that flattened out part of your lower back. Just sit your hips down. Every waist again differs, so you can kind of find where you want it to be. You should feel super comfy to just drop the hips into that bolster and just relax. If you don't have the bolster, just bend the knees and let your hips sink down into the floor. Try to keep your spine pressing down into the mat, so we're not arching here. Draw the belly in. This is like a tuck of the pelvis under. It's really pushing that lower back into the bolster or into the floor. Draw one knee in towards the chest. And again, circle that knee around. You can make this as big or small as you want. Like right around there, where I start to feel a little twinge, so I might thread into this area a little bit more, and then up around this area a little bit more. So work it into that hip. Draw the knee in, lengthen the other leg out. Stretching onto this back hip flexor, tuck the pelvis under. Maybe that leg floats off of the floor underneath you. Press into it. If you're feeling extra spicy, you can lengthen this top leg out, grab onto it, go into like an assisted split stretch. And being careful that my back is not arching. I tuck my imaginary puppy dog tail in between my legs. Keep my core engaged, to keep my lower back strong. And that increases, for me, the stretch here. Start by bending this top leg first, bending the other leg in, and switch over to the other side. Bring the knee in, circle the knee around, maybe make those circles bigger. Cross the midline always gives me a little extra feels. And way out to the side here always gives me a little extra feels. Where are your hip feels? All right. Moving into some knots. Yeah, some crunches. Draw that knee in. Lengthen the other leg away. Keep the pelvis tucked. Maybe the toe floats off. And you can keep that knee bent as well. But rather you protect the lower back. So whatever you need to do to protect the lower back, go for it. Imagine someone's pulling that leg longer. As you pull this knee in, you get that oppositional force. And if you want that extra spice, grab on and stretch. No arching. Keep the pelvis tucked. Lengthen out. Breathe. Wiggle around if you want or need. Start by bending this top knee in. Bend the bottom leg. Bring it down. Option to stay with the knees bent or to lengthen the legs out, but again, not letting my belly go. I keep my belly engaged. I feel more of a stretch on the front of my hip flexors, and then protecting that lower back. If that does not feel accessible, keep the knees bent or take the bolster away and just lay flat on the floor. Bend the knees in, lift the hips up, and go all the way down. All right, do a little windshield wiper with your feet, in and out, or come into that end, Last little meditation to seal this, get into our bodies, and start that new year. Start that new day, that new whatever we have coming up. Roll the shoulders underneath the back. Close your eyes. Let me adjust this music again as we're going to go into a little breathing meditation. Take some deep breaths in and out. Fill up the belly. Exhale, lower the belly down. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Breathing meditation. Breathing in, count 1. Breathing out, count 2. Breathing in, count 3. Out, 4. Keep going till you get to 10. 1 count for breathing in. 1 count for breathing out. Once you get to 10, you start back over at 1. Keep going here. I'll tell you when you stop. Otherwise, just keep breathing and counting. If you go past 10, that's okay. Notice it, and then just start back at 1. If you lose count, that's okay. Just refocus in, start counting again, wherever you choose to pick up. Sinking the body deeper into the floor with each exhale. Expanding through the lungs, through the rib cage with each inhale. Trying to count each breath as we take in life and energy and we let go of anything that doesn't serve us. Realigning our bones and our joints, realigning our breath and our energies, resetting to move forward from here a little bit stronger, hopefully a little bit calmer, balanced, settled. Wherever you are, 1 more deep breath in and out. Roll onto your side. Keep your eyes closed. Come to a comfortable position, laying on your side. Feel the pressure. Notice 4 things you can feel. Gently push yourself up to a seated position, comfortable seated, whatever that means to you. Keeping the eyes closed. Notice 3 things you can hear. Blink the eyes open. Take a look around. Notice 5 things you can see. Going out of order, I know, but still useful. Notice 2 things you can smell. And using that breath, see if you can name 1 thing you can taste. Bring your hands together, rub them together, build up some energy, give yourself gratitude for making it here today. treating ourselves, some self-care and restorative de-stressing time, which is just as useful as all the other movement classes and workouts we do. Shake it out. Set an intention for this new year, whether this is actual Lunar New Year today when you're watching this or not. Just set an intention for yourself moving forward. Cross it up top, in the middle, down low. Lift the energy up and let it pour down on you. There you are. That is our Lunar Renew Year class. I hope that it was just a nice, ooey-gooey internal time to be present, to reset ourselves. Uh, we as human beings don't get much opportunity just to reset, just to be, to check in, to reset ourselves, to move forward. So it is really valuable to do that. I know I struggle with wanting to come to a class and work hard and sweat hard and feel a certain way every class. But man, this time on the mat, this is what keeps us going so we can keep doing those other classes, right? We need to refill our tank, renew our energy, recharge our battery in this way to truly achieve holistic wellness and full body health. So thank you for taking your time to be with me. Happy Lunar New Year, wherever you are, whatever time it is, happy time. And take care of yourselves. Check out all of our other classes on our website, on our YouTube channel. If you like this, subscribe, like, share with a friend. We have lots of other classes, though. If you want to do something more intense, we got lots of those. If you want to do more restorative, we got some of those as well. If you're joining somewhat live, next Friday is going to be our Patreon member only dance party class. So that is, let's see, February 19th, next Friday, 2021. If you're not a Patreon member, you can find out information in the class description. It's really just whatever donation that you feel like you're able to make monthly, and you will get access to that class as well as past Patreon-only classes. There'll be a Zumba-inspired cardio dance party as voted on by our Patreon members. So hope you can check that out and join with us, get your dance groove on. If not, then the next Friday will be a bar lattes class. So some bar, some Pilates, fused it together, and we're going to have a more strenuous time on the mat for the last Friday of February. If you want to see a certain class, leave it down in the comments. Let us know how this class went for you. We always love hearing from you. Again, take care of yourselves. Hope to move with you again, and see you next time. Take care, movers. Thank you so much.